Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Right. Well, thanks for hopping on. Front end pairing time. Um, Looks like we're looking into the dates.
We'll get to dates in a second. So the first one
Oh, okay.
is stacked achievements. I wonder if my GDK is running. Um, so achievements is reasonably new at the
Oh,
moment. If you have more than one of the same achievement, um, it will show like the same icon multiple times. And when you hover over the first one, it will give you the pop over. When you hover over any subsequent ones, it doesn't. It's a bit glitchy. There's like a view key that was being applied. Probably see it in here, and viewers getting annoyed because the key was the same for multiple elements.
I see.
I can't see exactly where it was. It'd be this, I think. So there's a duplicate key and it's getting annoyed. So it's a little bit buggy. So we're just trying to make it a bit more native, or just handle it better.
Yeah.
It looks like I'm going to try a bundle to see if it fixes it, but what we've come up with is something a little bit like this, just a little pill badge if you've got the same thing twice, and same
Oh,
thing when you hover over. Um, and there were just a few little suggestions like replacing an image tag with a GL avatar, getting rid of some kind of inline, what would you call
yeah.
that? Kind of doing some coding templates that we prefer not to do. I've just
Cool.
applied a few of those little bits. I'm gonna try and sort of see if it hasn't broken it, but it's definitely broken the test. So I think that's because I was a little bit lazy and just applied this this suggestion, and it uses GL badge. I'm not sure if I'm even importing GL badge. Not, so I need to do that. Also looks like I've got an unused import there. See what breaks when I do that. Are you good at import ordering, Paul? Do you know?
Sure, but I think your import order is correct.
Good, thank you.
Um, there was one time I think we had enabled for just a little bit. Uh,
Alphabetical.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
that was
I don't mind that. I don't mind that because at least
I.
I know it. This, I just have no idea. Like, it just seems really random.
Yeah, it could definitely feel like that. Uh I listened. No, I was just kind of doing the alphabet all the time. In my head, I was like, oh, A B C D E F G. Okay, this goes here. Like that was more thought than I wanted to put into it. But yeah, ESLint is pretty
But
good. ESLint's pretty good at just auto fixing the imports too. So
so how do you, so this is again my fault. I should have
oh, you're good. It's but it. Do you think that it just? Do you think it needs to be restarted or updated?
I don't know. It might be the opposite to updated. I think that this branch might be a little bit old, so I might even have to rebase this branch and then it will come back to life. So I think I've probably done a GDK update. So I've had migrations and things run, and my database, my GDK is a bit confused, but we'll
Okay.
give it a minute to start and see what happens. Yeah, so ESLint I don't think runs or I have to run it manually, or it doesn't match. Like I've had failed pipelines um, where it's complained of for ESLint, and I'm like, well, why didn't that fail? Why didn't left hook fail that and prevent me from pushing it and wasting 2 hours of CI?
Yeah.
So maybe we could spend a few minutes,
Yeah. Well, this is
looking
loading.
looking into that. Yeah,
It says,
absolutely.
yeah, if you go back, it says analysis tools missing. Is that, do you have lint? Oh, that's for Go, I guess. Okay.
Golang, I
Yeah, we can
think.
get, yeah, I guess we can get rid of that. Uh,
Um,
if you go to, do we have the ESLint extension here?
Doesn't look like it. So just install this.
Well, I think so. Let me double check. VS Code.
That's the thing. I think it's supposed to be like part of Left Hook, but
This
maybe
is
it
true,
doesn't
but it
work.
really helps having it in the editor too. Yes, I would install this one.
Awesome,
Yes.
I think.
Do you have Prettier installed too?
Not sure. No.
Yes, I would recommend installing that as well.
Awesome. The fact that it still hasn't booted,
Yeah.
that means it's pretty bad.
Um, I used to be when Prettier first came out and we were doing Prettier on write and save. Uh, I was really what's the word? Like really hesitant about it because I didn't like some program overwriting the code I just wrote.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love not thinking about it. I love just like I love it so much that for ESLint and Prettier, it's just like I just type, oh, I don't have to think about all of these little nitpicky things. And I just save and it's good to go.
I quite like just so if I do a push, Left Hook says pretty is not happy. I apply its suggestions, and then I quite like doing a git diff just to see what
Yeah.
it changed.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's a good way to do it too. I yeah, I tend to like it at predecessors of AI. Yeah. Uh I tend to like doing it at right time because I like to see what it actually is going to look like while I'm doing it. And sometimes
but
I won't even realize without thinking about it, I'm trying to format something and all that doesn't matter once Prettier runs. So it's I like doing it right time, but everyone does it differently.
well, the other thing that should be interesting, we were having that sort of um, anecdote or whatever you want to call it, like, oh, you don't like to use curly braces then? Conversation last week, I mean, and I presume it does things like that, or is that a bit beyond its like it won't actually put characters in that aren't there? It will only move characters around.
Oh, do you mean the
If you have an if like guard clause, if this return, how far would it go to say, oh, I want curlies around that,
right. Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about that. Yeah. The one thing I remember, I don't know, I guess I'm a little allergic from because of uh like the first time learned Java or something was doing the if without curlies, but the body on a new line, it could be really difficult to follow because it can seem like, oh, well, the body can keep going when
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
one line. Uh,
Gotcha.
but I realized like things have changed since I was learning Java in college, so it's probably I don't know how relevant all of those things are.
I
Okay.
think we're looking pretty good, to be honest. I don't think we've broken it. One thing that I do quite like to do is bring the console up sometimes just to make sure there's no hidden errors. But it's rendering the badge, it's rendering the achievement, it's rendering the badge in the achievement. The tests are still passing, I hope. Did I just
But
gonna yeah.
while you're running the test, um, does um does the backend return like in that situation? Will it return three items with a count?
No, it returns the lot, and we're thanks to Elena. I hope I've pronounced Elena right. We are using group by. Before I was doing my own iterator, my own loop, and kind of my own
Yeah.
implementation of group by, but this looks much more elegant.
Okay. Where do we see And then I guess we're only getting the top 3 or 4. I forgot if slice is inclusive or exclusive.
Free, yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
it's start index and length. So yeah, the length
Oh, got it.
free. Yeah.
Um, okay. Do we see it beneficial at all for the backend to doing the grouping on the backend?
Uh, I think, no, I'm going to say no because we're using an endpoint, a GraphQL endpoint, and that endpoint could be consumed. We will want a page eventually, hopefully quite soon, which like a tab on here for achievements that will show all of them. Yeah, and if you're just Joe Blogs and you've got an integration with another system that you want to pull the achievements for a user, I think it's nice that it's that it's done on the front end at the moment because we've got quite a weird specific. I mean, we could create something for it, but to have a GraphQL query, if that's the right endpoint, whatever that's so specifically coupled seems a little bit wrong to me.
Yeah, I think we'll need to though.
Go
I
on.
I can see having achievement history, which is a list of items, but then having achievements, which is just which is
I
maybe
think I see what. Yeah, I think I see what you mean. So yeah, that's a really interesting conversation. I know it's way off topic, but so if we go to user interface, so at the moment we call them user achievements, right? And they're what would I call it? The linking record. So if you've been awarded the same achievement 3 times, you'll see 3 of them.
yep.
We could also expose achievements, and achievements would give us a unique list of achievements.
Mm.
And under each achievement, we could then have the multiple. I think that's kind of what you're getting at, right? A more relational kind of response.
Yeah, I just think like we want to be thoughtful of paging.
Yeah,
GraphQL will only return uh page
100.
100.
Yeah,
So as achievements are more and more used, and if I
I'm going
have
to be a good Samaritan, Paul. I'm going to be a good Samaritan. 9429.
yeah, let's do it.
Consider exposing achievements. Um,
That I just think I get that it seems really coupled to the specific use
No,
case.
no, 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 no.
But
I think only returning free would be coupled, but only returning distinct achievements
yeah,
and then against each achievement, the
but we could
user
pass
achievement.
right, but we could pass a limit. Like we can pass all of the things to optimize the query. And that's the other thing is this is actually going to be more efficient on the back end than for us to page through and order this.
Absolutely.
This is going to be more efficient on front end and back end if we have some sort of unique achievement relationship thing. But I think from this type, we don't need to expose achievements that the user hasn't received yet. So we don't need to do the outer join thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, you're right. The we inherit the GraphQL patch Marco, we inherit the GraphQL pagination stuff. So we don't even need to rewrite anything to do the limit for 3. That's a good point too. And I think it's very similar to like how we do awards. I guess they call them awards, the emojis.
Emoji, yeah, award emojis or whatever, yeah.
I award your issue a thumbs down. Award is an interesting noun for emojis.
So it's really interesting as well because I'm working on webhooks for emojis, hopefully. We've got
Oh,
a bit of a
nice.
gap there at the moment where we got webhooks for like issues, merge requests, releases, um, like members, notes, like almost everything, but we can't hook into when somebody reacts to a comment or an issue at the moment. So
Nice,
that's
nice.
something that I'm juggling, which is always fun.
You're always
So
working on like the fun features.
that's what keeps me interested. Absolutely. And I've got genuine excuses for most of them. They are community related. Um,
Yeah.
we've just kind of procured Common Room as a community platform. So it allows us to kind of pull data from Twitter and from Discord and from
Oh wow.
Reddit and a million different places. And I'm building the integration to GitLab itself to get data from, obviously our platform. So we'll be able to see like Marco, and we'll be able
Yeah.
to see that Marco's kind of like 8 million comments in Discord and like 8,000 contributions in GitLab.com merge requests and 100 issues, and kind of pull all that together and get this kind of
Cool.
holistic. I don't know if I'd call it a single source of truth, but like unified view of our community members, which is pretty
That's
cool.
yeah, that is really neat. Is that public information?
It is, yeah, yeah. It wasn't until like a month or two ago when we had two or three community platforms that we're evaluating, but we've
I see.
completed the
Cool.
procurement now. So you
Cool.
can post this
Okay.
without stressing. Yeah, thank you for being safe, though, Paul. I
Thank you.
appreciate
Uh,
it.
well, yeah,
um,
no, that sounds great. So, is there anything that we need to do here with this
so I
MR?
think we're happy. It's
Okay.
it's looking good to me. The tests are passing. What I'll do if you're happy with that is so I'll just kind of whoops add these. I'll be lazy. My reviewer suggestions, and I'll just push that. Make sure the pipeline doesn't fail, and then tonight I can pass that back to the maintainer.
Sweet. Uh,
So that's good because I'm
yeah.
glad it's caught it before I. So yeah, in this
I could
instance,
see, yeah, I could see how the integration of achievements and the common room you were just talking about like go hand in hand really well. Like you can integrate achievements happen outside the platform too, and this sounds really cool. That's a really
well,
neat.
this is something we've been struggling with, like my team and community as a whole for a while. That we only really not award, but recognize properly authored merge requests. We don't even properly recognize commits. So, for example, I start a merge request and Marco finishes it off for me,
Yeah.
and he doesn't really get properly recognized for that. So we want to improve on that. We want to recognize commits, but
That's
then we want to
cool.
start recognizing comments. We want to recognize community members who are creating issues, who
Yeah.
are responding to issues, who are doing translations, who are posting on the foot, like everything. So yeah, it's really exciting.
Yeah,
Not
that's
something that I've even thought about. Like we've thought about the different types of contribution and wanting to be able to recognize them, but I've not thought about a community platform.
yeah.
So big sort of props to the developer relations or developer evangelism or whatever the team exactly is called, who kind of are leading that project.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I mean, it sounds like the stats at the end of the first person shooter where you get to see your assists, not next, and it's like, yep, that sounds pretty cool.
So we already do in Discord now. We do a weekly. So we do on Slack internally a weekly thank you to all the team members who have been involved in community member merge requests. So if you've reviewed or maintained or whatever, so we do that internally, and then externally we do a thank you to all of the community members who have authored merge requests which have landed, but also all of those who have been involved in those merge requests as well.
Cool.
Um,
Wow, that's great.
so those metrics aren't really being, they're nowhere like to help us for graphing and those kind of things, but at least we're recognizing them in that sort of cheers kind of, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, that's nice. That's awesome. All right.
So sorry for going off on a tangent there, but so we got this error. So I was going to ask, now that I've installed Prettier and ESLint, so before I would have just done yarn, Prettier, right, and then the
Yeah.
file name.
So
But is
what
there a better way from, in the UI now that I've installed the plugin?
so I think the prettier will you can set it up to format your document when you have it open. You can say format document and pick prettier as one of the things to do that. There we go. Configure the default formatter. Yes. Uh, so that's one way to do it. And then you can set it up to format your document on save. And that's how I like to do it, but everyone's different. And so what you're talking about is a totally fine way to do it as well. But I'll open up my settings. Um, I'll open my user settings and let me see which ones I actually have it do that for. Um,
At the moment, but yeah, that's awesome. That's
yeah, I
awesome.
think I have it for all of them. I have editor.format on save. Now, every once in a while, I'll send you this is what I have. Every once in a while, I'll run into big issues where this is super frustrating because um, I'm working on a repo that does not have a formatter by default. And so formatting it on save means that I'm making a small change and then everything gets changed. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so VS Code has a way of save without formatting, which I'll use when I realize I'm in that kind of project, if that makes sense.
Right, right. Okay, okay.
Um,
Right, so we've pushed that. Thanks. We're doing all right actually, halfway through. So yeah, we're doing all right. Marco's raising his hand. He's shared a few links. Um, I think that's nothing to worry about. So we've dealt with that one. Again, huge thanks for letting me do that because it's a bit off topic. But yeah, this was the fun one.
yeah. Oh, so this
So
seems a little different scope than
yeah, it'll be a really good opportunity actually to to understand if you agree with the approach or well a few different things. So um first of all, refs, is that generally bad practice or is that okay?
I think you use it if you absolutely have to.
Uh-huh.
So
So
yeah.
to to kind of pass an event down instead of up, it's probably one of your better options, only options.
Um, you, you, what you want to strongly avoid having to do is we're referencing a component and we're calling a public method on the component. That's the kind of thing, a pattern that shows up every once in a while, but is generally frowned upon.
Yeah, so like modal dot show.
Yep, yep, yeah, I like that.
So
Which
it's it's,
do a
it's
lot.
not ideal, but it's we've obviously decided to do it, so it can't be that terrible.
Uh, I think we've decided to do it because that's just how the library decides, the Bootstrap library. We
Oh, so
for it to
we're
do it.
kind of extending the bootstrap and they've done it. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Otherwise,
how would you have done it with a prop or would that not work?
and Bootstrap library does support that as well. And so that's
Oh,
what we
okay.
try to do is you'll have like a modal visible state. that you can bind to the modal, and now we can set the state, and that's typically you want to just, I don't know.
But let's
There's
dive
other
into this.
solutions to, yeah, there's other solutions to doing things. Like most of the time you may realize, oh, we don't actually need a ref. Like there's other avenues
I
to do
think I've seen
until
like
it's figured out.
event buses, is that
Yeah, you
right?
could
To
use an event bus
pass.
too, and but state is definitely the preferable one. You just really don't want to think of that a component has public methods. Like that's the only thing
Okay.
like with the component is the props. That's
Okay.
but every
Well,
once in a while we'll violate that, and
okay,
we'll
okay.
see.
Let's go. Let's yeah, exactly. So again, we can sort of stress about that a little bit later. But so I know it's not going to make huge difference, but I was considering keeping this one as just to expose this kind of method via refs with the story of creating a date picker. But then the next MR would be to actually make that date picker almost convert this template into a component,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. Now, you could probably persuade me otherwise if you're like, no, just use this MR, don't be lazy, do both things at once. Um, I'll take it from you.
Oh,
But yeah. So that's one of the things that I just wanted to kind of say that was my
okay.
intention to get this through to expose that, and then to do another MR to kind of introduce this as a reusable component or template. But yeah, the rest is definitely a thing where even if we just spend a minute for you to sort of say like, yeah, I think I can't see a really obvious way that we would have done that better, or and should I open? It's probably better as a diff, isn't it? Rather than
Yeah,
opening it
this
in
is
VS
this is
Code.
yeah, this is pretty good. We might want to
So,
start tinkering around with it, but let's see what so we have the apply data thing. So we started emitting the active segment change. I kind of remember doing that.
but even that's like weirdly kind of, I want to say buggy and unpredictable and intermittent, but it works when we need it to work, which is what's important. Like
Yeah,
what it doesn't do is tell us when like the operator segment and the other segment are particularly
yeah,
active, but we don't actually need that at the moment.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but it's not ideal if somebody does need that. But you know, I'm being, what's the word? I'm being selfish, and as long as I get what I want, um,
yeah, yeah.
and it's your job, maintainers, reviewers, to kind of say no, Lee, you must not be selfish,
Okay.
or be like, no, that's fine, as long as it solves a problem, then let's move.
So let's see what apply suggestion. Oh, yeah, I'm
So
curious.
Marco helped me reduce the complexity, coupledness, whatever you want to call it, a little bit of this. I'm not sure if you saw it before, but it used to do this dot refs dot something dot refs dot something dot apply
Oh, got it, got it, got
suggestion.
it. Yes,
So
yes,
it
yes.
was actually reaching
Yeah.
two levels down.
This, yeah, this
Now at least it's
makes
just
sense.
calling one level, but then that in turn, I think, is doing the same.
Okay. Can we trace when do we want to apply? What kicks it off? Can we go back to the story?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's when our date picker emits the selected. So
Ah,
you select
yes.
a value in the date picker. That is tied to select value, and select value says, right, convert that to
Okay.
a nice string, and then let's
I think,
apply that suggestion.
all right. I think there is a better way to do this, but let's keep going.
Okay,
Um,
okay, right.
okay. Can we go to what does apply suggestion do? This is where we need to probably open in VS Code.
Absolutely. Let's get some specs, and it's probably in here.
Okay. And I'm actually getting that emit select seems to be what we really are itching for, that line 306, because that I think triggers a bunch of like, oh, the value has changed. That's what the whole point of this I think is we click on this thing, like now we actually set the value.
So saying in which case we might not even need to reach down this far, if that makes sense, because presumably token is listening for the select event.
I think so. So if we go, maybe if we go up to, and that's an interesting point too.
So it's
There it
listening
is.
to select, and then see, this is what's confusing. Supposedly, all it's doing is emitting select.
Yeah, there's a lot of pass through.
Yeah, but
Lots and
that
lots
would
of events happening.
suggest that. So let me just remind myself what our stories. Where was it? Date. So kind of forgotten where I'm. So we're
Because
mounting the
look
filtered
on
search
330.
token.
So yeah, look on 330.
Yeah.
I think all we need to do is emit select. I don't even think we need to do anything with the children. Let's try it out. Can we first try
And
running it this way, and then let's make.
so like this dot or not.
I think so. But let's go ahead and do it inside of select value, I guess, maybe.
So oh yeah. Okay, sorry, yeah. So you
But can
think
we,
it's
before
da
we
da
make a
da.
change, can we run the start the storybook? So we can get
Yeah,
some
yeah.
feedback of what we're doing.
Let's not break.
And we got the new web ID. Oh, nice. Oh, the new web ID. I'm glad it's working for you. Every once in a while, I get the comments from some users that say things like, it's not working. Please don't get rid of the old web ID. And it makes me a little sad. But I'm glad that the new one is working for you, Marco.
Oh, I was thinking, what? Who?
Sorry,
What?
I am talking to Marco with that.
Um, there's something else interesting with the web ID, but I can't. This one is sensitive, so I can't
Uh-oh.
can't cover it now. So GitLab UI. So we're looking for filter, not token. Make sure it's working. Looks quite good. Awesome. So you're thinking like comment this out, and
I think,
I
yeah.
can see that my prettier is because normally this would just be a I'm slightly upset that you're not using this,
Oh,
whereas now
now
it's
it's
like no,
really upset.
I'm proper yeah. So you're thinking just this .emit, are you? Or
I think so. With an E in front of emit.
that's helpful.
And then I guess passing in the value that we
Of
passed by data
course,
test.
yes. Um, so actually, let's just be good. Let's take this and say late string.
Nice. Uh, the new web IDs is going to get better and better. Like it's such a great foundation for us to
I'm
continue.
really excited for like extensions. I know that's something I think you even responded to me when I
Yeah,
broached the topic of understanding how they
and
may or may
we
not.
huge news. We um just embedded the GitLab workflow extension into the web ID from a technical perspective. Uh, so a lot of features that are on the
To
Git.
allow AI assist code
Yes,
suggestions, for
that was the
example.
only.
Yeah.
So that's the only feature currently that works in both environments. But this opens up the door for us to put the merge request review functionality and all other sorts of great stuff baked all into the web ID.
Nice,
So that's
nice.
going to be really sweet too.
So I don't know if you saw. Okay, so it
Oh
does
no.
exactly the same. So I tried changing, but yeah, that's pretty much what it does. It
Okay,
um
let's see. So you do that.
your when you click this,
Yes.
I think this loses focus, and therefore it just thinks you've kind of abort it. Although, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
let's that makes sense. Let's go back.
Do you want to
Um,
try and dig into a bit more what
I think
like
I think I do. I think I would like to console log what were formatted suggested value is there on above 306 or below 297. Yeah.
just like here?
Is there any console log showing up when it dies like that? We don't get like an error. We'll need to also switch so that we're doing the ref thing. Um,
Uh, so you want it back to this, or you want to do
yeah,
refs?
let's go back to that so that we can see the console log that we just did. Yeah. Okay. Hmm.
I'm with you kind of thing here. Um so in here, so when we call so
Oh wait, I think I see something that's messed
go
up.
on.
And we're emitting select, but then look at this. We
If
emit
it's not a
input
multi-select, we emit input.
and we emit complete.
Yeah.
Let's go back to filtered search token and see what it does with all those events. And if it's just doing a big pass through there. We go back to that one.
Complete is then handle complete and input if
That's going to be in the model in line 419. Input's going to be handled in there. Okay,
okay.
let's go to handle complete and see what's happening.
See, this I think is why do you know what I mean? I think there's just a bit
Yep.
too much going on to be able to
Yeah.
do it outside. But I'm happy to for us to dig.
Oh, and so then
This
here
emits complete.
we
So
emit.
should we try like emitting select and complete or
That's what I'm leaning towards. But let's before we do that, um I
well,
think we need select and we need to do input and we need to do complete. Yeah, this is
input would probably have the value as well, right?
yes. I
But
think it would
complete I
look
don't
something
think
like that.
did.
Like, can we check real quick here? Oh, look, it's a oh, that's only if it's a multi-select. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it this way and see what happens.
I'm, yeah, I'm going
I
to
think
remove that one just for a second.
oh, okay. All right.
Just going to click that.
Yeah, so that's not working. Can we go to the input? I think it's not working because it's not capturing the value up the component.
Yes, I think you're right. Oh. Um,
Let's can we go back to filtered search token?
yes. I think you're right. We're never actually so, but then if you watch, it does.
Yeah.
Just going to get rid of
What's
this one.
yeah, what's the
I'm
stack?
sure we see the value appear in the input box, but because we're I don't know how. Oh no, that was so quick. I didn't see it. Let me try again.
The parent component is not getting the value. What I think what's happening is the parent component's not getting the value. And then because it says, oh, you didn't set a value here, we're just going to get rid of everything.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
input is the event that tells the parent component what the values is supposed to be.
yeah.
but apparently that's not in the format that it expects it to be.
But
So
omitting this from here is too high, isn't it? It needs to be omitted inside of this, right?
I'm not entirely sure. Can we try it one more time and see the details of the error message? I want to see the stack trace.
Down here or
Wait, yes, it said value. Oh, wait, go scroll down. It said chail type check failed for prop value, expected object, but we got a string.
and I think that's because this is only supposed to be emitted on multi-select. So it's expecting like either an array or an object with multiple.
Is it
I
really?
don't know.
Let's
Maybe I don't.
if
I'm being
we go back to the VS Code. We're so close. We're so close. And
really.
yes,
You're
yes, I really think
optimistic.
we are. If we go back to if you go back to the model.
To what? Sorry, the
Yeah, okay.
right. So
Token value.
each.
Uh okay. Where's token value come from? I think I know what's going
Think it's
on.
a prop. Oh no, it isn't.
It clones deeply the that's why it's not working. All right. Yeah, we're duplicating logic by trying to do it this way. This isn't going to work. There's another way, but um can we
Do you
hop
think though that maybe this is a nice iteration or going back to what we had in the MR, or do you still think there's a reasonably
I,
simple
I think there's
iteration?
a reasonably simple way to avoid refs, and refs
Okay.
you want to avoid because it's like making privates public,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
so
Yeah, I thought it was bad, but
yeah, I know, not at the expense of not having, you know, if we can get dates in there, that can hopefully justify the bad. Like I get that.
although I was going to say if we can get it working before the end, then I'm happy. But I also
I
just
think we
realised we've
can.
only got 4 minutes.
Oh, I'm
So
pretty sure we could do it. I'm pretty sure we could do it. So,
hit me, go for it.
the other option is so if we go to filter search token segment,
Mhm.
so rather than exposing, okay, we have all of this, which is apply suggestion. Um,
So what happens?
well,
Sorry,
there's two
just one.
ways. Oh, sorry, what were you gonna say?
So I'm just wondering if we can complete
I think you're gonna like this idea.
input and select are being emitted from segment up to
Right.
this.
And let's try not
Complete.
to.
So select. Yeah. So it's yeah. There's just too much. Like, well,
Yeah,
this is just being passed through, which is fine.
I
Input is doing something weird, and complete is doing some other bunch of things. So sorry, back to you, Paul.
no, you're good. I think you've done something great at finding apply suggestion is the function we need. So the question is, how do we encapsulate that behavior so that we can nicely use it? And I think using slot scopes is going to be the preferred way of doing this. Uh,
Right.
so if we go back to, I see we've added like before input and after
Yeah,
input.
yeah.
Um, is that also in token segment.view? Like we have those slots now? Cool. Yeah. Um, so I think my idea is in the after input, let's do what do we call it? I think you call it, I think vbind. We can put a slots, we can put a scope slot and put apply suggestions in there. Probably better to call it something else. maybe call it complete or set value
think
or
this
something like
is
that.
what I think last week or the week before or whatever, I was trying to understand, like I was trying to figure out how you tap into, and I
Yeah.
don't quite understand what it is or what it's called, or so hopefully this might explain it to me. So do we do something like this, or
Yep. Yep. And then I think we can just put apply suggestions as is. Let's just call it that for right now, but maybe we should consider calling it something else. Uh, and then we'll save that out.
yeah,
And then in filtered search token, wherever we do the after input, we want to, in that
and
template on line 439, we want to pass through. So I think you can do equals after you do the slot thing, you do like an equal quote thing after the slot name, I think. After it would be at the very end of the pointy on line 439.
at the end, 449.
So it'd be input equals, I think, on line 439. Yeah, and then you could do
Like that.
yes, or you can just give it one name, which would mean whatever the slot scope was. We just call it scope, maybe, is what it'd be referred to. But without the curlies, we could just call it scope
Right, sorry. Yeah, okay.
and then do v bind after the name.
In here.
Yeah. So this is we're doing a pass through. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
So then going to filtered search stories, we would put GL date picker inside of after input.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah. And then
yeah,
after input, we need to pull out from that apply suggestions, the template thing. Yeah. So the
so
equal
like,
quote. Yeah.
oh no, not that.
Yeah.
Um, like that, or
Yep. Yep.
okay.
And then uh
We
we will
can now.
to pass to select value are on input. Let's pass two parameters there and select value. Let's do the first one is the event object, so the dollar event. And then the yes. Yeah. Yep. Yep. And then on line 318, we get apply suggestion and we can pass date string to it.
Um, so so
So
this is
line
now getting
318,
value, comma apply suggestion. Yeah.
yeah, something like that.
Wow, if that works, it's mind blowing.
I think it's gonna work. It's still a little funky, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think a bit more polished still, but
uh-oh.
okay, we've broken some stuff, but we've also got something that works.
Broken some stuff, but it kind of works.
So why? I think I might know what we've done.
Okay. I didn't realize it's already top of the hour, so I gotta hop off. But um
TBC, maybe later.
yeah, if you wanna pair later today,
Legend.
we
Appreciate
can do
that,
it.
Paul.
So yeah, appreciate it.
Have a good afternoon.
Hopping on
Catch you
Marco.
later.
Thanks, Lee. See you. Bye.
Thanks, Marco. Bye bye.